Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another month of the 100k giveaway. This is month number 11, and the portfolio is moving along quite nicely. We're just a little under doubled, and it's sitting at about 0.18 of a BTC. So this, again, if you just tuning in now and just learning about this portfolio giveaway, what it is every month I release a new video. And all you have to do is go and comment on this video and the previous 10 videos before it, and you go in the draw to win this entire portfolio. And every single month, I'm looking at different coins, and I'm adding to that with the funds that the channel made. So this month, we made about, I think, $400 odd US from different ads and sponsorship within the channel. And I'm just pouring that straight into this portfolio to give away to you. I also do a little bit of an update on what the market's doing, what I'm seeing, and some of the really cool news that I'm seeing going on in the whole marketplace. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So BTC, in the last few weeks, on the 11th of November, it breached the $69,000 mark, hitting a new all-time high. And then it went and did what BTC does, and people took profits, and it consolidated to as low as 53,500, and we've bounced back up, and we're currently testing old support as new resistance. The interesting thing that's going on right now is, and just shifting gears a little bit, is ETH has been performing really, really well in its SAT value. So we just zoomed right here into the daily. ETH actually hit 0.82 of a BTC on the 13th of May 2020, which was when we had the big run up previously. And it's just recently breached this new and hit a new local high of 0.084, which is really, really cool. Now, if we zoom right out and we go back to 2017, you'll see that this is it's not even really close to where we were 2017. So ETH ended up hitting a 0.155. And then in February 2018, we saw 0.12 of a BTC. So we're still not quite at that level yet. And when we've zoomed right out, it looks, quite depressing in the grand scheme of things compared to the last cycle. But I still believe that ETH is going to trump in the market, and that we're going to see some quite huge gains in ETH overall. So we definitely are, in recent times, in the last month and a half, we've moved up from the 0.6 mark, 0.06 mark, I should say, all the way up to the 0.084 mark. So ETH is performing very, very well. And looking at the CBBI, again, shout out to my buddy Colin. Appreciate you, everything you're doing. This is an indicator that basically aggregates 11 different other indicators in an index and gives you a kind of fun way of looking at the long-term price movements, as it says on the page. So currently it predicts that there's a 58% chance that we are at the peak. And if we look at this, one thing that I love about this indicator is if we look at previous highs, so the 2013 December 4th previous all-time high, CBBI confidence was 100, and the price hit 1151.17. Then we scroll forward to 2017, December 16th, 2017 to be exact. The price of Bitcoin hit $19,497.40, and CBBI confidence was 100. And then we saw the actual low when confidence was around 3. And those two lows were, the 3,200 respectively and the 3,500 respectively. So we've definitely seen a high in May and throughout February, March, April, May of this year. And you can see where those indicators were and how we still haven't quite hit that 100. So I still think we have some way to go. I'm of the belief that we're in an extended cycle, and that we're going to see a peak in somewhere between March and May of next year. But there's a lot of chatter on Twitter, crypto Twitter, about, we're going to see a peak in the next 2 to 3 weeks in December. And time will tell. The only thing we can keep doing is looking at data, looking at metrics, both on-chain, off-chain, and technical analysis as well as the fundamental side of things. But as I mentioned last month, as I mentioned, I feel like I mentioned every week when I talk to my customers on their weekly webinar, as I mentioned constantly when I talk to people, we are seeing so much positive news. We're seeing so much positive news, so much new investment coming into the space. We're seeing so much regulatory feedback, like positive regulatory feedback, that I think that we still have quite a way to go in this bull market. So jumping into the Bitcoin treasuries, this is something I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago. This has jumped up from around the 7.0 up to a 7.15. So this is tracking ETFs, countries, public and private companies that hold Bitcoin. The really cool thing to see here is we have multiple governments, like Bulgaria owns 213,000 Bitcoin, or $12.2 billion worth of Bitcoin. They hold about 1% of the supply. And my assumption, without even clicking on the news, is this has been confiscated from people not doing what they're supposed to be doing with it. But on the other hand, same with the Ukrainian government, my assumption is. But on the other hand, like Finland, El Salvador keeps buying more Bitcoin as the dips happen, as is Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor bought, on behalf of MicroStrategy, another 10,000 Bitcoin in the last month or so. So we're seeing, countries, governments, public and private companies purchasing and adding this to their balance sheets to hedge against inflation, which we're already seeing. I personally don't do a lot of shopping for like food shopping for the kids and whatnot, but I went the other day and I saw, in the yogurt aisle, and my kids love the yogurt pouches, that there just wasn't the stock that there normally is on the shelves, as well as a lot of other different foods and essentials. And I'm seeing in my news feed across Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms that this is happening all over the world. We're starting to see a supply crunch of goods and services that we normally use that are just not available like they were at once upon a time. So yeah, we're definitely in an interesting time, and yeah, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is one way to hedge against that. So without further ado, let's jump into the spreadsheet. So we've been doing this since the 1st of February 2021. And every single month we purchase either multiple coins to balance out some of the losers from previous months, or just one position. And this month last month I should say, we purchased XPR, which is something I'm very bullish on. I think it can 10x from here very easily. We purchased 18,000 coins. They're currently losing about 25%. So what I'm going to do, we've got around $400 or so US. I'm going to purchase another $400 worth of that coin today and add it to this balance sheet. And again, if you're new to this, all you gotta do is go and watch all these videos. Just post a comment. You can literally just post absolutely nothing, like a dot, or if you want to write an actual meaningful comment, which I'd appreciate, go and do that across all these videos to be in the draw. And then what I will be doing, and I haven't set a hard date for this, and a few of you have asked, why haven't you done that? I want to keep looking at the data, and I'll put out a video when I am actually going to be releasing it. When we start to get much higher on this scale, around the 70-80%, which is we got to 77 in, what date was that? Let's just scroll down. Got to 77 in February, and then where else did we get to? Yeah, in May we're at the 71s. The highest recently we've been is a 64. Let's say once it gets to 85, I'll make a video and I will pick a winner, because I think this is a really good aggregated indicator for us to figure out where we're at the top. And I also want to pass on this portfolio before the peak actually happens, because, depending on the person who wins, their strategy might be to sell the coins as the market gets close to the top, or if they're wanting to just hold, for the next 3 to 5, 10 years, that might be their strategy as well. So let me know in the comments below if you think that's a good way to kind of pass the portfolio on in a way that there's still plenty of time for that person to sell as we hit the peaks. And as always, you can never pick the tops, you can never pick the bottoms, but you can always ladder out accordingly. So yeah, what I'll do now is I'll just pause the video real quick and I'll go and purchase these coins, and then come back and unpause the video and show you how it goes. Alright, so we've gone and made that purchase there. So the price definitely dropped a little bit. We bought $525 worth last time, and this time we've bought $400 worth, a little under that previous purchase, and yeah, it's currently sitting at $400.20 in value. So I still believe that we can see, especially across some of these coins, it's been crazy this last few weeks. There's been quite a few coins that are done 100% ROIs in a few hours, a few days. We've seen multiple coins do a huge pump. Terra's up 66%, Stacks is up 51%, BAT tokens up 35% for the week, and yeah, I think we can still see some huge amounts or huge gains in time. And I think it's still possible that we could hit this portfolio could 10x from here and hit 100k. And that's where the whole basis for this video is. The goal is to give away $100,000 in crypto. We're slowly building a portfolio. And I'm investing this into this portfolio so that it can continue to grow and then give it back to one of you lucky winners. So why don't we do this? Let's jump into some news and I'll show you what I've seen going on in the space and why I'm super bullish, super excited. And I feel like we have a lot of puff in the crypto market before we see that huge correction, which it's done the last previous cycle. So this is a tweet from Adidas. We've partnered with Coinbase. It's probably nothing. So Adidas being a huge multinational corporation, they've partnered with Coinbase and they're probably going to start taking crypto or at least holding crypto on their balance sheet. More and more asset managers confirm interest in launching crypto products. So Fidelity, a huge asset manager, UBS, a huge asset manager, and State Street are the latest to say that they are scrutinizing the cryptocurrency fund space. So there's a lot of people all over the world that's looking at crypto, very fine microscope, and they're trying to make sure that it's safe for them to enter with huge amounts of money. Paris Hilton and Bill Ackman back a $300 million NFT fund. So we're also seeing a huge amount of celebrities getting involved in NFTs. I'm seeing artists, I'm seeing actors, I'm seeing people that are really not even close to the cryptocurrency space getting more and more involved and getting obsessed with this. So Paris Hilton has done a decent raise and building an actual foundation. They've got Citigroup, which plans to hire 100 staff for a beefed up crypto division. So the bank has a huge reputation for money laundering. I mean, for holding huge amounts of cash. They've definitely got in trouble over the years, as has HSBC for money laundering, as well as holding assets for some of the not so great businesses. But let's put all of that aside and look at what they're doing, which is a positive thing. They're hiring a bunch of people to build out a cryptocurrency focused division and start to offer those assets to their customers. This is a massive one. If you can really understand this or really grasp what they're trying to do here, it's just blowing my mind. So El Salvador is looking to raise $1 billion with a 10-year bond at 6.5% via Bitfinex on liquid BTC, and half of that goes into Bitcoin. The other half goes into infrastructure, building the Bitcoin city, which is powered by geothermal energy. There's a 0% CO2 emissions, 0% taxes except for 10% VAT, and it's trying to be the new digital city, the new 2.0 city where there's very little taxation and very friendly when it comes to cryptocurrency. Now, just looking at the historic numbers of Bitcoin, they're doing this. They're taking a huge risk here in putting $1 billion of capital into the market. But if you look at the historic numbers of Bitcoin and you just look at the last 5 years, we've seen a 10x plus on current prices for Bitcoin. So having a 10-year bond at 6.5% per annum in interest, the probability is very high. It's definitely a bet. The probability is of them making a lot of money or making really good amounts of money from this is very high. Now, what they've already done from some of their purchases, which I showed you before on the Bitcoin treasuries, is they have gone and cashed out some of their Bitcoin to build a bunch of schools and a bunch of infrastructure. So by doing this, they are literally leveraging this whole market, and they are potentially having a really good bet that could pay off very well. And this is like a full article, talking about it as well, and how much detail it goes into. So, if you don't know who Peter Thiel is, I would strongly suggest you go and research him. So, one of my biggest misses of the last decade was not buying more Bitcoin. So, he was one of the 5 that built PayPal, along with Elon Musk, and he's a very, very wealthy man. He has a VC fund, and he's constantly investing in startups, but he's saying that he actually missed the boat, or he didn't miss it because he owns some now, but he wished he bought more earlier on. Mr. Poster Boy himself, Michael Saylor MicroStrategy, has purchased an additional 7,000 Bitcoins for $414 million in cash at an average price of $59,187 per Bitcoin. As of the 29th of November 2021, we hold 121,000 Bitcoins acquired for $3.57 billion at an average price of $29,534 per Bitcoin. So even at current prices, Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, they're still purchasing Bitcoin, which, if you look at the price, 59K to what it is right now, he's already lost across 7,000 Bitcoins. He's lost about $3,000 per Bitcoin, which is a huge, huge amount of money. But he isn't looking so short term. He's looking at this very, very long term as a hedge against inflation, as he says on multiple occasions. So it's really, really good to see him taking these big risks and giving a lot of confidence to the market. I know crypto Twitter, as well as Facebook and other social media platforms over the last few weeks, when we saw 69K and then retracement down to 53, 54K, a lot of people said that music has stopped and the market is about to really correct. So I think we're going to see, in the next few weeks and or months towards the end of this year, we're going to see some big fireworks, and then in the mid to early first quarter, we're going to see the big fireworks show. Coinbase has put out their shareholder letter, and they've shown that they have a huge amount of adoption happening on their platform. And there's a huge amount of employees and 200 plus different venture investments. Then another massive bit of news is the CEO of Apple says that he owns cryptocurrency and has been quote unquote interested in it for a long time. So he also said on live television that he owns crypto, he owns Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, and it's not financial advice to be purchasing any. And then we also saw last month, this is around a month ago, we saw BetaShares, the Australian-based crypto ETF, go live and get about $30 million in trading volume on day one, which is really, really positive for the Australian market, but also to the global market to show different ETFs going live. Now, one of Australia's top 4 banks, the Commonwealth Bank, is going to be allowing customers to buy and sell cryptocurrency in Australia via their app. Now, they still are very, very stringent on allowing you to make transfers. I had some transfers out of my CommBank account recently that got held up for quite a few days, which is a little frustrating, but I think this is a good step in the right direction, and it's only a matter of time. I think they said by early 2022, they will start to show this in their app. Now, this is another really, really cool one. So the CEO, the founder of FTX, raises $420.69 million, but he does this via the DeFi platforms itself. Yeah, it's probably, this is my favorite part about this raise, 420 and 69. It's probably no coincidence that the company raised a specific amount with the numbers 420, which reference the date April 20th, a holiday celebrating marijuana, and 69, which represents, I may be 34 and male, but I still laugh at the word 69, or the number 69, I should say. So very, very cool to see that he's using traditional crypto platforms to raise this money rather than the usual fiat/banking systems. And then we've got crypto.com, which as a token price has just been absolutely charging forward. I think we got very close to the $1 US. It was about $1.30 AUD. And they have just been promoting and sponsoring sports teams and platforms all over the world. So PSG, they did $30 million, a 3-year deal. The UFC, $175 million over 10 years. Formula One, $100 million over 5 years. The 76ers, they sponsored $10 million over 6 years. Montreal Canadiens, logo at the center of the ice. Series A partnership, and now $700 million to rename the Staples Center as the Crypto.com Arena. So over $1 billion has been spent, and the token price has gone up about $15 billion since this announcement. So it's very, very cool to see this. Crypto.com was one coin that I've always speculated on being, not quite right. They don't really share a lot of their numbers. They're kind of very hidden, and they've done a couple of different token raises that have been somewhat questionable, but this is really starting to solidify Crypto.com as a solid project in my eyes, and they're definitely giving back to a lot of these sports teams. Then we've got Banksy selling a painting for 3,093 Ethereum at an auction house first. So two paintings from contemporary artist Banksy sold for $12 million in the first Sotheby's sale denominated in Ethereum. So very, very cool to see this happening and getting more and more exposure. And then finally, we've got Time Magazine is going to be holding Ethereum on their balance sheet following a digital partnership with Galaxy Digital. So you're seeing more and more traditional businesses get involved in crypto. You're seeing more people get distrusted by the United States dollar as well as other government-created fiat currencies. And we're just seeing more and more investment and sponsorship in this space. It is just a perfect storm. We are going to see some really exciting movement in the next weeks and or months. And I'm super, super proud to be giving this portfolio away to one of you. And it looks like it's going to happen very, very soon. So again, leave a comment below on what you think. Make sure to comment on all the previous videos. And I'm going to be working on systemizing a lot of my content creation over the Christmas break so that I can start doing more videos for you. I know that's one of the biggest requests that I get is, it's been a month and you've only done 2 videos, Mitch. Can you do them more often? We really want to hear from you. We want to see some car stuff. We want to see some racing stuff. And yeah, I'm working on it. And I'm going to put someone on board or on the team just to do the content side of things for me. So that is just a work in progress, and it's only a matter of time. But yeah, as always, I really appreciate you guys, and cue the outro. If you want to support the channel, go and download my Crypto Fast Start Guide by going to cryptofaststartguide.com. I'm also giving away $100,000 in crypto. All you have to do is go and watch this video and the previous 7 videos and comment on it to be in the draw to win. Make sure you go and check out Max Wright's webinar. He's talking about a training where $10,000 invested wisely today can give you a passive income of $100,000 per year in just 18 months if you take this easy step today. So go and register for this webinar. There is a lot of great content in there. You're going to learn a lot as a bare minimum, and it's going to completely change your life as a maximum. The link is in the description for this webinar. It's also up here. If you have crypto and you want to earn up to 8%, use BlockFi. You can sign up using the link on the screen there or the link in the description. You can also borrow against your cryptocurrency rather than triggering capital gains events. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a tax accountant, so I'm not actually giving you financial advice, but I'd definitely recommend speaking to someone who knows your situation. You can actually get $250 in crypto as a bonus when you transfer $100 or more into this wallet. And then finally, grab a Crypto.com card and grab a Crypto.com account. You can get a free $25 sign-up bonus by going to this link, and the beauty of this is you can transfer crypto to your card and be able to spend it real time in shops. So as always, support the channel because the more I get support from these affiliate offers, the more I'm actually putting into this campaign in order to give away to you guys. So that's it from me. I really enjoyed making this video for you. If you really enjoyed this content and you like these short kind of punchy videos, make sure to leave a comment below and just give me some feedback there. Again, make sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.